last item is roster cleanup. With last week being payday, according to the bylaws of the fire department, you have to be, in order to be in good standing, you have to make 50% of the calls for that period. And we have quite a few people that aren't in good standing right now. A few of them I issued letters, and there will be no issues. They'll do their makeup time and they'll move into good standing again. But there are a couple that I'd like approval to remove from the roster. One of them has moved out of state.
Oh,
The other one has taken a job out of state, but he's still here on the weekends, time to time. And the third one just hasn't participated, so.
okay. I don't need, I suppose we do make a motion on that. That's not in your bylaws, so they're not following the bylaw, your fire department bylaws.
Right, but
So then you are gonna send them the letters, or they have?
they're ready to go as soon as you approve.
Okay.
Because I mean, technically they're being fired, and the council has the ultimate authority to hire
Right.
and fire.
Alright. So there's three?
Potentially three, one for sure.
Okay, okay,
I don't know where the other two stand at this time, but they'll get the letter telling them they have makeup time, and if they don't do the makeup time,
Okay.
then two more letters.
Do you have a time frame on there for the makeup time?
30 days.
30 days, okay.
so maybe you should wait till after the 30 days and then go ahead and do the motion? I mean, I hate to make a motion to get rid of them if they're gonna have 30 and then show up. You know what I mean?
Okay.
What do you guys think?
We don't, well, I was gonna say the only other thing we could do is make a motion pending on they either do or don't do their makeup time.
Have to make up that time done by 30 days.
So if they don't get their
Proceed with
makeup
the
time
letter.
done in 30 days, remove them from the roster.
Okay, that week,
Yeah.
that'll work. Somebody wants to make a motion to
Yeah.
that effect?
Could I,
Go ahead.
there is one that got a makeup time letter 6 months ago.
Okay.
And he hasn't done it yet. so
Right, so he would be automatic removal.
That's what I'd like to see.
Okay. Somebody wanna make a motion?
Okay. So I would make a motion that, so I'm just trying to think of the wording, that we terminate those employees per the fire department bylaws if they do not complete their makeup within the 30-day period.
Okay,
Is that worded correctly
Right.
for you?
and then there's one that hasn't already.
Okay. And he's already received a letter earlier?
No, it'll go out as soon as you approve this.
Okay. So that's probably good.
Yeah.
Okay, motion made by Hutchinson, looking for a second.
Second.
Second by O'Regan. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, anybody have anything for the fire department? Anyone?
I was just gonna say, you guys might wanna take a good look at the property next door that we were just talking about and see in general if there's anything in it, if that house is salvageable, and we have any use for it, because we haven't really looked it over, I don't think. I mean, we're talking about burning it down because it's, you know, beyond salvageable, but I don't know, I mean, if you look it over, you might come up with some kind of an idea. It might turn out that it's structurally sound and just looks really bad, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying, somebody might want to take a good look at it, because we haven't really developed any kind of a plan for the property.
Oh, what we could do is, they could start with the inspections, that way we don't hold them up for that, and then why don't we as a council just, when you have a chance, walk over there and take a peek at it,
Yeah, I'd like to.
and then just see what you think. Then we can make that decision in another meeting.
I mean, from what I've heard, the house is not salvageable.
Right, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
But,
Because I know Pat and I did that on that other property as well.
yeah, the one over.
Yeah, and that was
on
pretty
both
clear that it wasn't salvageable.
sides. But we went and looked at it, and I think
Yeah.
we should take a look at this one too. Not just you guys, but I mean, we
Good
should
idea,
as
good
well.
idea, yeah.
That way we know exactly what we're talking about when we say burn it down.
Right. All right, sounds good. Police Department, Jason Bordish.
Alright, monthly report is on page 14. We had 111 calls for the month, a little bit slower than it has been, so it was kinda nice. And that's all I have for the month, unless you guys have any questions regarding the report.
Squad still on track for you?
Update on the squad, due to a strike at GM Motors, it got delayed, so, it's actually supposed to be built on January 6th, or the week of the 6th, and then delivered hopefully by the end of January.
That's good. All right, anybody have any questions for the police department? All right, moving on to the public works, Bruce.
All right, page 18 is my report. If you got any questions on that? If not, next item, in that heavy wet snow and that weekend I was gone, Brian said it was pretty tough getting around with that plow truck. And talked to OK Tire, and they got some recaps with guaranteed fresher than 5-year casings for $846. They look like they're pretty good tread, they're pretty aggressive gripper type tread on there. If you don't like the idea of recaps, they want about $1160 for some new generic or Chinese tires or whatever that they are, off brand tires, but.
Well, the fact you guys ain't going high speed, I mean, you're going pretty slow speed here, recaps would probably just be fine.
They thought they'd be fine, and they look like there's some pretty aggressive tread on
A
it,
lot of
so,
semis have recaps, but they drive 60, 70 miles, 70
Yeah.
miles an hour.
yeah, so. I'm not opposed to that at all,
Okay.
I just thought I'd throw it out there. But that's what we're looking at, is getting some new tires on the back of it, the stuff that's on there, they're getting pretty down there for traction anyway, so.
Anybody have any suggestions or anything more they wanna talk about? You guys okay with going to recaps?
I mean, yeah, we do that at work all the time. What is the expected lifespan of the recaps?
I think they'll rot off before they
Okay.
get wore out, but,
Well,
but I
yeah, you
don't
guys don't
really
put on a
know.
lot of miles either, so.
No. They said, being the casings are so new, we shouldn't have a problem, they won't recap anything that's older than 5 years old, so they wouldn't even recap ours or won't take ours in on trade or anything, so.
All right, looking for a motion to either recap them or the new tires.
I'll make a motion for the recap.
Okay,
I'll second it.
first motion's made by Chase Carlson, the second was by Pat O'Regan. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay. I did see his skid steer tires are getting pretty bad, it's under the $500, but just a heads up, we'll probably be getting some of them too, cause they're trying to do these sidewalks with this stuff and they're almost slicks now, so.
Wouldn't it be smart you guys invest in a little blower for that thing? The way he's pushing, I would think a blower, just push it out on the sides would be great.
Possibly, I mean, we could try it, but
I don't know, I'm just asking.
yeah,
I mean, cause I see him push, and then sometimes the snow is as deep
Yeah.
as he is, and I'm just like, why couldn't we just blow it?
But I think we might run into liabilities blowing in people's yards, wouldn't we?
Oh,
Because
you
we can't
wouldn't-
blow onto the highway.
You wouldn't blow it that far, you can put your pivot down and blow
Oh.
it, so it's not.
Yeah.
If he starts that with blowing it, then you don't have that big pile, and you start it, push it back a little bit.
well, it depends,
Doesn't
right now,
DOT come and clean that up usually?
eventually, yeah, right now we spill it both ways, so it kinda splits the difference, but, that isn't very, I mean, it's only a couple snows and you see how much we got now, it's due to be picked up, so. But we gotta wait for Baxter and Brainerd and Crosby and them guys first, they're usually a higher priority, so.
It'd be nice if you could borrow somebody's from someone.
It would be,
You know,
try
another
it.
city that has one and just borrow it
Yeah.
and just try it and see what it does.
I'd be more worried about,
Catching on
the
fire.
curbs and that kind of
Mhm.
stuff, just getting on and off of the thing. I mean, if you're just a straight run, it's fine,
Right.
but it's getting up there is, I think might be even do a better job. Almost a broom might be something with wires on it or something, might really be a good stripper for taking ice and everything like that, I guess, but
You guys don't have one?
we don't have anything like that. But
That's just a thought.
Someday
so,
we'll get our budget back up.
All right, do you have anything else, Bruce?
The only thing I'm gonna mention is towards, I don't know when yet, but sometime before the end of the year, I wanna get some of my vacation used up a little bit. I don't know if it'll be 3 days or not, but just kinda a heads up that I'll fit it in where it fits, right, so, but I might if you take a few days here and there, so,
Yeah. Brian can hold it down.
yeah. That's all I have.
All right. Any concerns or comments, Bruce? Public Works? No? All right, then we go to Administrative Department, Lacey Spam.
On page 19, you'll find the water usage report. Let me know if you have any questions on that. All right. If there are no questions on that, moving on to 364 Highway 10 South. As I said earlier, we did purchase it. The final price with all the closing costs, etc., was $11,424.47. We also incurred a little bit of attorney's fees in that, but that hasn't been billed yet. But that is the amount that the check was made out for. Anybody have any questions?
What was that number again? 11,400, what was it?
11,424.47.
Okay.
And then just a quick update on the administrative accounting assistant position. It has been posted. I did talk to Amy. When we were looking at the calendar and choosing the close date of December 20th, didn't think about the fact that the office isn't open on Fridays. I didn't think it was a good idea to have the last day be a day that we're not technically open, so we changed that to the 19th at 3:30 p.m. So anything received before then. Figure that one day probably isn't gonna make that big of a difference. If we need to extend it, it was gonna need to be extended more than that. So yeah, it was posted in the Brader Daily Dispatch, the Morrison County Record, Staples World, and on the League of Minnesota Cities website. And that's all I have. Unless anybody has anything for me.
Oh, and then we did send that to, Central Lakes College has like a job posting board, so we did submit it there as well.
Good. Anybody have anything for Lacey? All right. And then we'll move on, old business, EV charging station, bill of sales, get a motion to approve that. We did have a little open house, you guys have probably seen that already. Had a couple newspapers, I think Lakeland News was out, Pat was there, me, Bruce and Lacey. A couple other people from the areas were there, so anyways, I think we're good to go ahead and approve the bill of sales. So I'm looking for a motion for that.
So move.
Motion made by O'Regan,
I'll second that.
second by Hutchinson. Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The clerk's position, David Throne Associates proposal is 21 and 41. Which one of you two want to take that, Amy or?
I think is that okay, Lacey? You want me to take it?
Yeah, you.
So, doing some research on this, the price is quite a bit more than Lacey and I both anticipated. Our cost after NJPA's portion is gonna be $10,500. And they gave us a date of May when they could fill the position. So, we have not proceeded with that. we wanted to get everybody's take on it, because it's quite a bit different than we were expecting.
Right. What do you guys think? We have an option either to pay that and have them do our, help us with the hiring, or we can do the same thing as we did with the administrative assistant, post it ourselves.
How much was it?
10,000.
10,500,
Wow.
and that's after NJPA's portion.
Because on page 28, that's where it
I think,
Can I ask a question? What kind of salary is that position range, does that pay?
Lacey would know that, we have it in here.
It's actually on our.
Well, because I guess what I'm saying, in the past, when I've hired, and I got headhunters, so, but I think we paid a third of their salary was the fee. And when I hired like engineers through a headhunter or recruiting service or something like that. It's
So
probably
this would
better,
be less than that,
Oh,
so it'd be less than a third,
definitely.
either at the 18 or at the
It's
10.
roughly a tenth, or a fifth, I'm sorry,
fifth of what, the salary?
yes,
At 10 grand or at 18 grand?
at 10.
Okay.
So the salary's over 50,000
It's roughly, let me actually, before I sort of already possibly misspoken, but.
Well, 23.50 an hour, so it's like 47,000. So a third of that is in your 14,000 range. Well, 49?
Yeah, 49, 48, 80.
Or you could counter offer around.
I think the other issue is gonna be the May
the timeline.
timeline is gonna be real slow for us, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know, I say we throw it in once and see what happens.
Throw it in like we try to hire for it, or let them do it.
No,
Well, that was my thought too. You know, we
10,000.
could always, that's a really lot of money for our size of community.
We have one application already?
For the front office position?
Yeah, we don't have this one,
This one.
out there yet, posted, correct?
I would say, yeah, let's just post it and see what we can get,
Set up a hiring committee and,
yeah.
I would tend to agree, my only concern is the amount of, there'll be more work involved in this than there is in the front office hiring, because a lot more, we need to know a lot more about the person.
yeah.
So doing it in-house like this, is that gonna be, how's that gonna work out as far as workload on city staff, current city staff? I mean, that's just a thought that's come to mind.
You know, it would be nice to have them, obviously, part of the committee, but I think more of it would have to fall onto us because of our shortcomings in the office.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the hiring committee part, I'm talking about well, like the background checks and different stuff. I mean, there's more involved, we need to know a lot more about the person that's gonna go into the city clerk's position and the person that's gonna be in the front office. That's I mean, unless I'm seeing it differently, seeing it wrong, I don't know.
It's a legitimate concern.
Is it, I just wanna be sure we're not putting too much on the current city staff, that's all. I do not wanna put out the 10 grand to hire.
Yeah.
I do not, but I do not wanna overload our current staff either,
Yeah.
so.
Well,
What?
and I just wanted to bring up,
So right now, we had agreed that I would extend my leave through January 3rd. That doesn't get you to the council meeting, it doesn't get you through the audit. So I think if that's something you want me to stay on for, we need to extend that conversation.
when's the audit complete typically?
We are lucky number one on their list. Some get done in like May. We get done the last week in January typically. They still haven't contacted me to schedule a date, but typically it's the last week in January. We might be able to ask them if, given the circumstances, they can push it off. I don't know if that's something they'd be willing to do.
I don't know why we'd wanna push it off. I'd say quicker the better.
But are you
Well-
thinking experience for the new clerk?
I would say, so if you didn't want to keep me on to do the audit, it would be, so if you extended it and got it later in the year, the new employee could potentially take care of
But you do such a good job with it, so why would we want you to do it?
it. Well, you're gonna have to pay me more to do it, that's the problem. So that's up to you guys. Benefits will be dropping off in January, and it doesn't make sense for me to stay here for the same wage I'm making now and no benefits.
So what if we extend your benefits and just everything the way you've, till the end of the month or whatever, then give us enough, or what are you thinking for, let's talk about some dates? Could we have it, could your job be done for the audit? I know they have to do some more work, but by end of January?
I'm sorry, you were asking if the audit can be done by the end of
Right.
January?
For your, in your position, okay, is your work done by end of January for the audit portion of it?
Not always, no, because there's work to do after they come to the office. So they come to the office at the last week of January, and then there's audit adjustments to do to the books at the end of the year as well. So. There's that. So my benefits as of my daycare, I'm done with daycare on January 10th. So I have a baby with me after that point. The benefits I would have had would have been dental, health insurance. I would have been switching to the stipend. So that would have been just an amount every month. And then if I was staying on part-time, I would still get para. If you hired me as a temporary employee, I wouldn't. So.
What do you guys say?
You know, I think it would be nice to keep Lacey on as kind of a part-time basis just to get through this transition.
I agree.
I'm not sure how you all feel about that.
I just don't think we're gonna get another person hired by then. I mean, we don't even have it posted yet. It's just, it's not gonna happen.
Well, at some point, we gotta make a decision as far as a date and
Oh, yeah.
keep changing it. We need to figure this out, what we're gonna do and what would be best for the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, I do agree.
Well, and so I think the options are either obviously you don't keep me on, you keep me on part-time with benefits or something. Or we go temporary and we negotiate a hourly rate, and then you're not paying para or any other benefits, and then you have, if I'm willing to stay here and you're willing to have, you have 6 months where I could be on the payroll. However sporadically that is, answering questions when the new person is hired, stuff like that.
We would have 6 months keeping you on as like part-time with benefits?
No, that would
As
be.
a temp?
Correct,
Okay.
yeah. You could keep me hired part-time if you'd like, and if the circumstances were right, longer than that, but you'd be paying para. And I don't know, I know last time you had asked me about like the legality of paying for the holidays and stuff. I don't know in these situations. I know what I think is correct. I would suggest you might want to run it by the attorney if you're not sure about anything like that.
Right.
Or I can do that for you guys and forward you the information. I haven't reached out to them because I didn't know that you'd want to reach out to them, and it's a weird situation, but.
And so Darcy's still, I mean, she's still on board to help out.
Yep, she will be coming tomorrow.
Okay.
First time she wasn't available last week, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's a busy week.
So you're not gonna be, you're the third, yeah, that's not even gonna make the Councilman McNeely, I was just thinking how we could do this to do.
Go for it, Jason.
What would you prefer? Would like stick around with the para or just come in as temporary after your time is up and then we'll adjust your hourly? What would,
I think it would be simpler to have me just hired as a temporary employee, assuming there's no issues with that. I don't think there are, but, I think that would be simpler.
And then, do you have a dollar amount in mind?
I do, based on, how much I was making before and how much the benefits were worth. And the fact that $40 an hour is where I would be looking at.
And is that mileage included too, or that's just what you're thinking is?
That would be, I guess, part of this also depends on, do you guys want me in the office the whole time? Are you willing to let me work from home part of the time to get stuff done? If there's certain stuff that could be done from home, or part of it anyway. So I guess that's part of it too. If it'd be coming into the office more, I would say I would request mileage in addition to that. Because, I will have a baby, so I'll either have to bring her with me or find a babysitter or something.
I think all things considered, we should be a little more flexible than what we normally would be as far as like getting this work done at home. If it can be done there, she's not gonna have to come up here with the baby.
So if you were to do some work at home, could we have you kind of keep track on a log or so? Cause I know that like, there's times where you can put a good solid hour in, and then you may have to go take a break or put the baby nap
Yeah.
or something, and then,
Yep,
that might set people's minds at ease. I know sometimes Steve has concerns.
Yep, no, I can absolutely do that. I mean, when I had my first daughter, that's exactly what I did. I mean, the company I worked for was in California and I lived in Michigan. And I did that for 3 years, so it's definitely something I can do. And I plan on having Darcy help me with as much as she possibly can, as much time as she's willing to put in, anything she can do. I know she brought up that she was concerned if I wasn't here, like doing 1099s and W-2s and the audit and closing out the year-end books, she wasn't comfortable doing those things.
Maybe she could babysit while you come in.
Well, if you're gonna pay me that much to babysit. Yeah.
Did you say that you would be bringing the baby with you then?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did one day last week because I had no other choice. Daycare
Yeah.
closed, John was out of town, grandmas were out of state, and stuff needed to get done.
There's another case of being, I think, where we need to be more flexible. I mean, normally you would not want an employee bringing the baby to work, but in this situation, I just think it's in the best interest of everybody that we be a little more flexible and let that.
Jason, did she bug you too much that day?
Yeah, unless you keep somebody awake.
And I know when I had my youngest, I had to do that too. I don't know if you remember him being in the office, but all he did was slept. When they're little, they
Took a
just
while
sleep.
for everybody to figure that one out.
That's a good one, Pat.
That was not serious, no.
I know.
I don't know how you guys feel. I think the temporary option would be good for us. We're just kind of in such an awkward place with this. And that gives us a little more time. And then I know, Lacey wouldn't be here unnecessarily. Obviously, she's got a busy life and
I don't wanna be here. It sounds terrible, but I don't wanna be here at all, so
Yeah.
I'm
So
really.
you'll make sure and come to do the stuff that's necessity to get done and then.
Exactly,
Or
and so that means that I'm not gonna be here for like the office to be open.
Right.
You know, Ken is here through January 10th, but, you know, I'm not gonna be here for office hours. That's me making sure the bills get paid and payroll gets done and stuff like that. And again, Darcy can do a lot of that, and I anticipate having, as long as she has time, doing a lot of that stuff. So I would be focused more on the audit and stuff like that. You also, if you're not sure what you wanna do, I would extend my current rate till the first council meeting in January if you want. I know you've got a lot to think about and maybe things you wanna check in, so if you're not comfortable making a decision, I would get you prepared for that first council meeting still.
You know, and with Steve's absence, it would be nice to get his take on this. Do we wanna make the decision now, or should we wait till the next council meeting?
I'm okay with making a motion now, cause I mean, it doesn't matter how you look at it, we're still gonna need the help.
Yeah. And Lacey said she's willing to help us out, so I'd be willing to go ahead and do it, because then we know where we stand. Lacey knows where she stands, she can make her plans.
What are you gonna do about
I mean, it'd be nice to have Steve here, yeah, but
Yeah.
the David drone thing?
Do you guys feel it's worth that extra money to have him do it? And because there is a lot of work to it. You know, there's a lot of background checks and reference checks, and it is a really critical part of our city.
One thing I just wanna throw in there, cause I'm not positive, she put it in the proposal, well, maybe it's in there, I guess I didn't read that part, cause I talked to her on the phone. But they do provide a 2-year guarantee if the person they find and that you guys hire leaves within those 2 years, they'll do it again for free. So, just throwing that out there again, I don't know if she wrote it in the proposal or not.
See, I would like to know, like, how they advertise it, if they're pulling people from like, you know, how do we know that somebody in our backyard would be good at this?
Yeah.
They wouldn't want it.
Well, I know they do advertise on LinkedIn, because I see it all the time, different towns. Waseca was one recently, and I've seen it on there quite a bit.
the timeline is out there too, we're looking at what, May something.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's, for the council, it's gonna be more work, we have to get, you know, we're gonna have to do the interviews and do the, you know, we have to do that anyhow, but they do the preliminary. At the end, they have us do it, but I guess I don't know, I just have, 10 grand is a lot of money. It's a lot.
How does this fit into our budget, Lacey, if we were to do that? Because we really don't have that accounted for.
No, this was not accounted for in the budget. There are reserves, if you wanted to use reserve funds to pay for it. Like I've said before, the city has